Hello everybody, welcome to Deckman Productions and welcome to Conrail, the O-gauge high rail layout. So, I'm sure everybody has already heard, knows, and is excited about the release of the new Lionel 2024 catalog. I know I was when I first looked at it. But at any rate, if you're wondering if I'm going to do a full review of that catalog in this video, the answer to that would be no. There's going to be a ton of other O-gauge YouTube channels that are going to do that. Hobby shops, I'm sure people be explaining all that on Facebook. So I'm not going to be doing a full blown out catalog review. But if you're looking for a video that includes prototypical information, you might want to stay tuned. Okay, instead, we're going to call this the Lionel 2024 Conrail catalog, since that's all I'm going to be focusing on and what my interest is. Because I'm sure there's people out there wondering, what is Dackman going to buy Conrail-wise or Penn Central or anything else related in this catalog? So let's get started. So here we have the new Lionel Genesis all-new product. And featured here in front of us is the Conrail and the Metro North Conrail Heritage number 201. This particular locomotive features fan-driven smoke, dual electric couplers, dual motors, die-cast trucks, metal frame, directional headlights, cab light, marker lights, ditch lights. The length is 14.5 inches. And I forgot to mention, it's actually Lion Chief 2.0. So I'm sure everybody's going to be asking, is this a prototypical or a real unit? Not that it matters to some people, but I like to talk about that part of it. So yes, absolutely, this is a real locomotive. Metro North has released the second of 5 planned heritage units to celebrate the commuter agency's 40th anniversary, and the Conrail version was the second release. The Metro North unit GE P32AC-DM number 201 is painted in tribute to Conrail. Why is this? This locomotive is actually inspired by Conrail's FL9s in the 1970s, which were blue with a yellow nose. The inspiration for the blue and yellow tribute can be traced back to 1970, when the Metropolitan Transportation Authority signed a subsidiary contract with Penn Central to operate the commuter lines operating out of Grand Central Terminal. It was the MTA that asked for the locomotives to be painted blue and yellow, the colors of New York State, to signify the new partnership. The colors were carried through to the Conrail era after 1976, and the fleet of former New Haven FL9s were cycled through the Juanita shops. Metro North was created by the Metropolitan Transportation Authority on January 1st, 1983, to operate commuter lines north of New York City after Conrail was directed to exit the passenger business after the end of 1982. Metro North operates the Hudson, Harlem, and New Haven lines, operating out of Grand Central Station and New York State portions of Port Jarvis and Passaic Valley lines, with New Jersey Transit out of Hoboken Terminal. In this photo we're looking at now is a Conrail FL9 number 5015, leads a Harlem Line commuter train in New York during 1978. The blue and yellow colors signify New York State subsidiary through Metropolitan Transportation Authority to maintain service operated by Conrail and formerly Penn Central. Metro North Commuter Railroad assumed operation of the Hudson, Harlem, and New Haven lines on January 1st, 19 1983. So although this is a interesting piece, this is going to be a pass for me. Because it's Lion Chief. I'm not sure if it's going to be scale or summer scale, but either way, I don't even have passenger cars for it. So let's talk about the next Conrail piece. Up next, we have the Lionel O gauge scale size cars, and these are the PS2 covered hoppers. And even though it says all new product, I believe these are the old MTH molds. At least they look like the MTH Premier PS2 hoppers. I could be wrong. Leave me a comment either way in this video. But what I found very cool is that they're doing a new version and a highly weathered, worn out version. And I'm pretty sure this may be the first time that they're doing a weathered version. I know they've done like sort of like a patched out version in their Lion scale line with Conrail. And in other words, they took like Penn Central cars and patched them out to Conrail, so they had patches on them. But I don't think they weathered freight cars before. I could be wrong on that too. Leave me a comment. And if you've seen them weathered cars like this in previous catalogs, but I don't remember. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and buy both of these versions. So yeah, both the brand new out of the factory and the weathered, worn out one, and however many road numbers there are, 2, 4, whatever, 6 pack. Just bill me. I'll take them both. So excited to see both versions come out. So yeah, I will be adding that to the Conrail fleet. Now, Lionel did announce new road names for the SD45, and they announced a Reading road name, which everybody knows that Conrail took over Reading. At least most of us do. Walt pretends that it never happened, but hey, that's his little world. But at any rate, so I personally thought that the Reading SD45 would probably be a better seller if the locomotive was actually a Conrail patched Reading unit. But that's just my personal opinion. I know I'm going to make some other Reading people mad besides Walter Herbine. But, we all have our likes and opinions and stuff, and we're all allowed to have it. Next up, we have the Lionel CSX Conrail Heritage locomotive, which is a GEES 44. It features pretty much the same thing, standard Lionel legacy features. However, it does have kinematic pilots for closer coupling on curves. Length is 19 inches. Minimum curve is 0.54. There will be a powered and a non-powered version that will be offered. Lionel's approach to the ES44 itself seems to be a little on a generic side because there's actually 3 different models of the ES44. So you have the ES44AC, the ES44DC, and the ES44AH. So the Conrail Heritage unit is actually an ES44AH. The CSX Conrail Heritage locomotive is the 4th in a series of CSX Heritage locomotives created by employees at the company's Waycross locomotive shop in Georgia as a way of celebrating CSX's rich history. And you'll notice that the cab number is 1976, which is the year that Conrail was formed. And for those who know Conrail, know that Conrail was formed April 1st of 1976. And when it was originally announced, people thought it was an April Fool's joke, and it was not. Since this is a more modern piece, and I have sold off my CSX in Norfolk Southern back in 2022. I will be passing on this particular locomotive, although it is cool. Even though it's kind of generic, I would have still have bought it if I had my modern stuff, which I don't. But that's okay. There's other things in the catalog that I do want. So up next we have a Lionel U28C and the Conrail road name. The U28C is a GE or garbage electric locomotive, how I normally call it, but General Electric. So the U28C was a six axle locomotive that had 2,800 horsepower. The Lionel version has standard legacy diesel features, road specific details. It is 17 inches long, and minimal curve requirements are 031. So I believe this is another MTH X mold or mold. So looking at the close up of the picture, the center axle or the center axles in each truck do not have flanges on them. So that leads me to believe that this may be a former MTH mold. So if you're expecting wheel flanges on all the axles, it doesn't look like, according to the picture, that you're going to get that. However, I'm going to go ahead and put this on my list as to, yes, I want this. So let's take a look at the prototype. I won't talk too much about it because I want to wait until I get the locomotive for that kind of review. But is this prototypical? Is this real? Absolutely. Conrail really did have a GE U28C number 6521, as you can see here in this photo. Okay, so this is what I'm excited for the most. I was just literally blown away when I opened up this catalog and I saw these Conrail GP9 units in this catalog. I was like, wow, finally. I've been asking and asking for the Lionel Legacy GP9 and a Conrail road name, and here Lionel delivers. Now, Lionel has made Conrail GP9 locomotives in the past. Yes, they have, but they were semi-scale. They were not full scale. And so I've been wanting these units for quite a while. So let's talk about unit number 7020 on the first page. It's a GP9 locomotive. Okay, so this will come with the standard legacy diesel features, road specific details, has a length of 14 and a quarter inches, minimal operating curve of 031. The Super Bass B unit will have legacy and Bluetooth control, fan driven smoke, LED lighting, Super Bass rail sounds, electrocoupler on long hood end. Such cool features for sure. I will be adding number 7020 to the roster. Now for the real thing, the prototypical thing. Not all of the Conrail GP9s made it into the blue paint. Some of them did, some of them didn't, depending on the road number. However, we're looking at specifically number 7020. Did 7020 really get painted blue? Let's find out. And our answer is yes, absolutely. Conrail GP9 number 7020 really did make it into the blue paint, and here it is. Great job, Lionel. Okay, so let's go back to the catalog. On the right side of the page in the upper corner is a Conrail patched Penn Central GP9 number 7043. Now remember what I said, not all Conrail GP9s made it into the blue paint. This would be an example of that. So does the Conrail number 7043 GP9 in a black paint exist, or was it prototypical? Let's check it out. Yes, yes, it is. It is exactly the correct way that Lionel had made it. So here we are looking at the Conrail GP9 in the black patched Penn Central, number 7043. And the cool part about this photo is that number 7043 is leading a train, long hood forward. So this is a great photo. I really like this. So, yes, I would like to add this to my list, but it's going to be like down there a little bit because you can only afford so much. But yeah, I'm going to put it on my list and see how the funds make out. I guess I better start saving now or printing up money like what Ray's Trains does. I'm just kidding, Ray. But it's just a I don't know. I better start a separate bank account or something to start saving money now. The most exciting thing out of the whole entire catalog that I saved for last, believe it or not, is the Lionel GP9B Conrail locomotive. Now, that's a very unique locomotive. Now, you notice that I said GP9B. So it's actually a cabless B unit. And the GP9B or cabless locomotive actually really did exist out there on the railroads. A lot of railroads would use cabless B units to add power to existing cab units, and the GP9B was an example of that. Now, I'm not sure if Lionel actually did GP9Bs before in the past, but this is the first time I'm seeing one. So maybe somebody could comment in the video if they seen Lionel make one, but I'm just excited to see one in Conrail. So, Electric Motive Division, or EMD for short, built a total of 165 GP9B units, 125 for the Union Pacific and 40 for the Pennsylvania between February of 1954 and December of 1959, which is how Conrail ended up with one of them. So, although Lionel is known for their fantasy pieces, this is definitely not a fantasy piece. It is 100% legit. So, Conrail really did have a EMD GP9B number 3812, and here's a picture of it at the Rutherford Yard in Pennsylvania. And kudos to Lionel for creating this. This is definitely going into my collection of anything that they make between the GP9 and the GP9B. Those are the two top priority pieces that I want to add to my Conrail collection. I'm so excited, and I hope there's enough pre-orders for this to go through, because once again, these are very unique things or locomotives, and love to have them. So those are my top picks for the 2014 Lionel catalog. Love to hear what you guys are going to order. But again, I wanted to keep this video to only what interested me and Conrail. So if you're a Conrail fan, or even if you enjoyed the information on the different locomotives and trains that I touched on, hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you guys out there at the train shows, and we'll catch you guys trackside. Another Dakman Productions video. We'll catch you later. Goodbye.